Kecia, it
Yes.
is an honor to be walking you to work.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm just so grateful that you made the time because you're literally in between shows right now.
In between shows, yes.
What's it feel like for you? Because you grew up, born and raised in New York City.
Yeah.
And you are one of the main characters in a show where New York is a major character.
That's right.
What's it feel like for you? Does this feel like a full circle moment?
It absolutely feels like a full circle moment. I went to high school 2 blocks from here.
Insane.
One of my best friends grew up in the building that we're singing about and talking about in Hell's Kitchen. So I've known that building since I'm 14 years old.
Wow.
You know, so it definitely is full circle.
I know that
Yeah.
this is a love story
Yeah.
between a mother and
And
her daughter.
Yes.
And I know that you play such a maternal role or maternal part in this as Allie's piano teacher,
Yeah.
but then also off stage as well.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that special role that you play.
We have a lot of young folks in this show, and the vast majority of our cast is making their Broadway debut.
Yeah.
And so I have been kind of a mother figure almost my whole life. And the kids just started calling me mama.
I love
You
that.
know, they're all calling me mama. And I just embrace it.
Yeah.
You know, when I was younger, I used to fight it because I wanted to be the cute ingenue. I didn't want anybody looking at me that way. But it's an honor. It's an honor when, especially when young people want to be around you, number one, and
Yeah.
number two, when they're interested in what you have to say. I've tried to hang with them a little bit, but I can't. I have to go to bed.
I hear that.
I can hang for a little bit, and it's like, bye, mama's leaving.
We talk about these powerful moments in the show, and I think about the song Perfect Way to Die.
Yes.
And the visuals that are coupled with that.
Yes.
I don't think that anyone, at least not for me, I never thought a moment like that would exist in a show like this.
I agree.
It's just so deep. It speaks to, I imagine, everybody in the audience.
Yes.
When you read that moment in the script, or just during rehearsals, or any of that, talk to us a little bit about how that impacted you.
You know, at first it made me weepy. I feel that it's a privilege to sing that song, especially at this time in our history and all that we've been through. And secondly, because I have a black son.
Yes.
Who I had to protect in a different kind of a way growing up. It wasn't just, you know, I was just mom and we could just, you know, dance through the lilacs and go on with life. There were things that he needed to know in order to survive because I couldn't be there 24/7. And so I love the fact, it is a privilege to me that I get to sing that song and we get to see some of what that song represents because it's only a small part. But today, it was so interesting, doing the matinee today, I was looking at Malia and I got emotional because she's a 21-year-old girl, you know? And at one point, I'm thinking about Sandra Bland, you know? So all of those things are reminders and touchstones that I can think about and utilize, and I think people are responding to that.
It's been, I mean, decades at this point, and you have that Tony nominee under your belt. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What does this moment feel like? And look who's to your right.
So the Tony nominee moment, that's hilarious. So here we are. This represents what the 7-year-old inside of her wanted to be. At 7 years old, I started to dream about being on Broadway, about being on television, and what that would look like. And then as I went to Broadway shows through school as a kid, I was a public school student from New York City.
Yeah.
And you see these faces on the side and it's like, wow, look what those people are doing. So this is the first show. I've done 10 Broadway shows and this is the first one where my face is on the building. And it blows me away. The first day I walked by here and it was up, I started weeping.
Yeah.
You know, and not just because my face is on the side of the building. It's about what it represents to me and the work that I've put in and the desire to be that face that another little black girl will walk by and say, man, look at that lady. She has locks too, and she's in this beautiful wrap on her head. She looks like my mom, my auntie, my grandma, all the melanin, honey, that some little girl will say, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do that.